Every minute, the express generator creates a new trading strategy. Let's see how far we can go.
Hey everyone, I'm Marin, and in today's video, we're going to explore the express generator, a powerful tool for automatically creating trading strategies in seconds. Actually, it is so fast that it can create one strategy every second. I'll show you how it works, to put it to the test, and discuss how you can use it to improve your own trading. What's more, if you stick around until the end, I will give you a free aid. Let's dive in.
Before we start, let me show you the tools that I will use in this project. The first is Node.js, which is a JavaScript library. We need it to run the express generator code. You can download Node.js from nodejs.org. On the homepage, there is a download button. Just follow the instructions to download and install it on your computer. And the other tool is Visual Studio Code. You can download it from code.visualstudio.com. This is a text editor. I personally like using it because it has nice syntax highlighting. It works very well with Node.js and JavaScript, and also it has a built-in terminal that we will use to execute some commands. I have already downloaded the express generator zip folder on my desktop. I will extract it here, and this will be my project folder. Then I will drag it inside Visual Studio Code, and this is what we have inside express generator. We have the bin folder where we have some executable files of the program and some configuration files I will show you in a second. In the collections folder, our collection with strategies that we generated will be stored here, and in the data folder, we will store the historical data. So let's see what do we have first. Here we have the fetch settings, which are responsible for fetching historical data, and we have the gen settings, which are responsible for generating the strategies. Let's first start with the fetch settings. I like to make copy of the default settings, so I right click on copy and then paste shortcut to my keyboard, and then I will rename this to my fetch settings, so I don't override the default settings, and if I need to revert something back, I have a backup of the default settings. Okay, so now we have the settings here for historical data. By default, the program uses premium data, which is Ducascopy historical data, but for the purpose of this video, I will use 8cap to show you that we can change a lot of stuff and we can download basically a lot of historical data. We have several built-in data sources here, and you can add your own data sources with a script, but I will show this in another video. For the symbol, let's use $. I will stick to the m-thirds time frame. The other settings I will not touch. I think this is okay for now. I will just save this file, and then I will click on terminal, new terminal, and you can see a terminal here open. This is one of the features that I like in Visual Studio Code. And here we will run a simple command, which is written here. You can see the command. So basically what it says, we will use Node.js to run the fetch script. This one here, we will pass settings, and it will be our settings, which we created here, and we can override some of the settings, but we will not do it right now. So I will copy this code into here, and then I will just pass my settings, which are located inside the bin folder, and they are called my fetch settings. I click on the tab on the keyboard, and autocomplete just completed the path. So this is it. I will click on enter, and you can see that historical data has been downloaded for 8cap broker, for $, for m-thirds time frame, and this is the period. And we have 200,000 bars. So if I go to data, you can see a new folder here, 8cap, and we have a JSON file with the historical data. If I open it, you can see a lot of prices for the historical data. We have it for quite a long period. Okay, so we have downloaded the historical data. The next thing is to generate the strategies. We use the gen script. Again, I will right click copy and then paste it and rename this so I can have a backup of the default generation script. I'll call this my gen settings like this, and let's see what do we have here. Server, by default it uses the premium data, but since I already changed this to 8cap, I will change it here as well. We use the $, symbol, m-30 period. The rest of the settings I am not going to explain them right now. Something interesting is the output. This means that the ready collection with strategies will be stored inside the collections folder here. I'll just scroll down to see some settings that we can change for the generation process. So we have max working minutes. By default it's 3 minutes, but I will make it 90 minutes, which is hour and a half. So this is how long our generator will be running to create the strategies. Then I have some acceptance criteria. By default, we have minimum count of trades of 100 for strategy. I will change it to 150 so I can have more solid backtest for the strategies. For minimum profit, I will put 1000, and for minimum profit factor, I will put 1.1. Let me see what else I can change here. So we use account currency $, 10,000 account, leverage 1 to 100. And for the strategy properties here, I will start with 0.1 watt. And here comes the interesting part. So we have the trade direction, long and short trades. Opposite entry signal, I will use ignore reverse. We have stop loss usage. I will always use stop loss in my strategies. Don't take this as a recommendation. These are just settings that I will use for the purpose of this video and to show you how we can change the strategy generation process and what will be the output. For the stop loss type, I will use fixed or trailing here. I will keep the range between 10 and 100 for the stop loss. Take profit I will not use. The generator will use up to 3 entry and 2 exit indicators, but it can create also strategies with just 1 entry and exit indicator. I'll just change a few more stuff here. We have the max data bars, which I will change to 200,000 because this is the amount which I downloaded the historical data for. The rest of the settings here, I'm not going to touch them. Let me see what else do we have. Trade on Sunday, I will make it false because we are generating strategies for Forex and there is no trading on Sunday, just in case I want to change this. And here are the entry and exit indicators that the generator will use. I'm not going to change them at the moment. I will stick to default settings. So looking at the rest of the settings, I think everything is quite okay right now. Okay, yeah, so I will save this file and then return to the top to see what's the command that we need to run. This time it's node bin gen.js. With the fetch, we were referring to the fetch file. With the gen, we are referring to the gen file. Also, we have here the settings and we pass our custom settings. So I will copy this, I will paste it, and then I will locate my custom gen settings here and I will click enter and you can see the express generator started. Actually, it's so fast that it's creating over 1 strategy every second. You can see that for just 30 seconds, it created almost 1000 strategies and 3 of them passed our validation criteria, the minimum count of trades, the profit factor and all the stuff.
Okay, to start with the generator, I will pause the video right now and return in an hour and a half.
The generator is ready. It calculated over 300,000 strategies and over 1,000 of them passed acceptance criteria. And we have already collection with 100 strategies. Here in the collections folder, we can see the new file containing the collections. This is a JSON file. The next thing I will do is I will upload this JSON file into ES Studio to check the strategies. So in ES Studio, we need to go to collections and here upload the collection. You can see the collection of the strategies. We have 85 strategies here because 15 of the strategies are correlated or they're similar to each other. That's why they are automatically removed from this collection. Let's see the other. So the first strategy here we have, this is the most profitable strategy. We can see it has 0.1 watt, which is how much we defined during the generation process. It uses fixed stop loss and 68 pips of stop loss. So now I will do a robustness test. I will go to Monte Carlo and I will start the test. I'm looking for 80% validated tests or 16 out of 20. This one didn't pass, so I will remove it. I will check the other one. Again, Monte Carlo, and I will start the test. This one also didn't pass. I will remove it. The third one, this one passed the test. So I will check the out of sample monitor, and the strategy has a good performance in the sample data and out of sample. And finally, what I will do is I will go to the journal and I can see the latest trades of the strategy. I can see the strategy is active lately. So I think the strategy is good enough, and I will return to the editor and download the strategy for MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5. I will do the same with the other strategies in the collection, and I will pick 2 more strategies. But before I do this, I will go to MetaTrader and I will backtest the strategy which I downloaded. So I will go to File, Open Data folder, since we are in MetaTrader 5, MQL5, Experts Advisors, and I will move one of the strategies there. Here we have it. Before I can test the strategy, I need to compile it first. So I will click Enter. The strategy will open in Meta Editor, and I will click the compile button, and that's it. The strategy is compiled. We have the executable file here. So I will go to MetaTrader and you can see actually the strategy is here already. So I'll just right click on it and test it. I can see the experts is loaded here. Symbol is $, and third time frame. The backtest period will be since the beginning of 2020. And something very important for the modeling, I will use open prices only. This is the way the robots created with Express Generator in ES Studio open trades. So this is why we need to stick to this modeling. The leverage is 1 to 100, 10K account, and I will click start for the backtest. And the backtest is ready, and we can see the graph here, how it looks. I can see that we have a growth here in the balance, and actually what I can see is that the balance and the equity lines go next to each other, which I like. And I'll go to the backtest stats. Here I can see we have almost $3,000 of a profit, and the profit factor is 169. This looks like a very good strategy, so I continue the same process, so I can pick 2 more strategies. And there we have it, over 100 trading strategies created in 90 minutes. We filtered them down, tested them, and now we have 3 solid trading robots ready to go. As promised, you can download the top performing key for free using the link below in the description, and be sure to check out our VIP book where I will share the other 2. In the next video, I will show you how you can automate the whole process, so be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.